welcome to the Tansson Talk Show. I am Brandon K. Hedgepeth, the host of this show, and I want to be the first to welcome you here to this episode of Tansson Talks. I'm just so glad to be here with you today. And so, today, ending out 2023, I am very excited to have a conversation with my guest here today, Joshua Ruff. Josh, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm so glad to have you. And so, first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good today. Had a good breakfast with some eggs and sausages. Um, Finally unwinding from a very stressful semester, the most stressful one I've had. But finally excited to actually just be able to relax. Before I take my final semester. Should be my final semester anyway.
Well, I'm so glad that, one, that you are finally done with this fall 2020 for your semester and hopefully about to hit the time of nice rest and relaxation until the spring semester.
Yes.
Yeah, and so before we go ahead and get started today, if you're able to reintroduce yourself for the watching or listening audience here today on the show.
Okay. I am Joshua Ruff. I am a senior college student, and I will be graduating next semester. I'm also a casual streamer. I say casual, but I haven't streamed in like months. But anyway, I do that. Um, I believe my socials will be in a part of the podcast somewhere. But yeah, pretty much it.
Well, awesome. Well, like I said, I'm very excited to have you on. And for a fun fact for anyone who is, new to the show, is that while this might be your first time on my current show, this is overall your fourth appearance overall on, my podcast platforms. And each year is always this time of the year, ending out the year. So it's really fun to continue on this tradition this year.
Yeah, it's good to keep it going. A long time too, 4 years.
Yeah, and I mean, it truly is crazy. When we, first spoke, you were finishing out the first semester of your, freshman year at Old Dominion University, and speaking with us about about trying to adjust to college while in the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's been great being able to, to converse during our, your sophomore and junior year, and so overall, how has senior year been for you thus far?
So far a struggle. I mean, this semester alone has been a struggle, but um, it's over with now, done with. Um, I only have one necessary class that I have to pass with at least a C for my major, and once I do that, and then I have two electives as well. Once I do those classes, I am done. Um, I plan on going for a master's degree, but that's probably going to be something I'm going to unwind and like do gradually over a couple of years um, while I work. Um, the goal is to find an internship or a entry level job in regards to IT. So that is something that I'm into, going to be trying to do within the year that I graduate. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool. And of course, I know that you are, majoring in information technology. And so how has your degree plan been going over these past few years?
It's been pretty smooth. Um, the classes typically aren't really that difficult. Really just more of like I'm really interested in technology. I think technology nowadays that we have is it's crazy the things that technology does, especially. like for example, the new Google Pixel, I think it's like what, the eighth one now, where it has a feature like, let's say you're recording a video or something, like let's say you're at like a friend's like basketball game or something like that, right? And you can record, and you can like pretty much cut down the audio from like people around you, and so that way you can only have like the audio that you're focused on. And I think that like that's incredible. That kind of thing is incredible. Like especially with like the Samsung phones, like the flip one, the fold ones, like those are really cool. Like stuff like that. It's fascinating, genuinely.
Yeah, new technologies really are fascinating, and yes, the folding phones are indeed quite, you
It's
know,
really cool.
yeah, they are quite fun to use. And actually, as a refresher, since it has been a moment, so what actually brought you into wanting to do IT?
Um, I originally wanted to do computer science, but it is super heavy in math. In fact, you have to take like four like calculus classes, and taking calculus one was already a struggle enough as it was for me. So I said nope to continuing to that, and decided to go for something that's more easier. Still wanted to do something that's like technology related. I kind of thought about doing maybe um what's the word? Like being a mechanic. I thought about that too, because I have a like a deep passion for cars as well. Um, so I thought about doing that, or maybe IT. I feel like IT is probably better off, and probably and realistically more profitable in the future. Um, Especially since everyone is going to need like people in IT. So I want to do that. I want to do something in regards to networking. I think that'll be pretty nice. Um, it's a job that can like I can actually like physically do things. I'm not sitting behind a computer for like 8 hours straight and everything. Um, and can be somewhat sociable as well. So that's pretty much why I went down that direction.
Yeah, that makes sense though. And I actually had no idea that you had a deep passion for cars.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's, like growing up, I would pretty much be able to tell you like what make, what year a car was. Um, Now I don't know like the ins and outs of a car, like of a car. Like I can't really tell you like this is what this component of the car does, this what this component of the car does. But I I really love like style, like the styling and everything of cars. I really would like actually like learn how to actually like be able to fix things and do things and stuff on my own. It's a lot. It's a cheaper thing as well, and it's a good skill to have too.
Yeah, that really is a good skill. Yeah, especially since similar to like with technology. I mean, we all use vehicles for the most part, and or some sort of automobile transportation to get around, and so might as well learn at the very least the basics, the safety procedures, and I mean learn more about it, and that's a really fun passion to have.
Yeah.
And have you been able to keep up with your passion like throughout the years, or have you not been able to focus on it as much because of college and everything?
Pretty much still maintain it. And also I like I do like of course I do gaming and stuff like that too. So I play like my fair share of racing games and things like that, and I come across new cars, and whenever I see like a new like car manufacturer, like not I was about to say Vol. They're actually pretty sure they're based in Mexico. Vol spell like what, VUHL. Um I think it's Link or something. There's like a new electric manufacturer that's been kind of rising, and they're competing against Tesla. Um like that is pretty interesting, and I think they're doing something that's pretty innovative too. So like whenever I see cars like that and like in games and stuff, I do my research on them, I look at them, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But yeah.
That's pretty cool though, and I like that you've of course been keeping up with all of the the new trends and everything that have been coming out over the past several years. And out of curiosity, what are you most excited for in the realm of of technology over the the next several years to come?
I would say AI, but AI itself is extremely controversial, especially with how it is now. Like AI art and things that you can do with AI as well. Like especially in like game development, because I actually just took a class this semester in regards to game development procedure generation, which AI can do some of those things. Um, and it has a lot of positives and a lot of negatives. Of course, people are going to highlight the negatives about things. Like, for example, AI doesn't really generate anything new. It kind of just takes from previous things and kind of like adds onto it a little bit. Um, Especially with AI art as well. Um, you're pretty much copying from something that's already made. And if you're not giving the credit to the thing that was already made, that can get a little sketchy, especially because some artists do try to take action in regards to that, and then that can lead to somebody that does do AI or whatever in trouble, things like that. Like people just need to be able to give credit. Um, this just it's a lot of things, but it is interesting to see how it'll develop over the next few years. But people just need to learn to be able to properly use it. Of course, you're going to have some people that's going to use it um, in negative ways, but that's just kind of just how it is with everything. But it would definitely be interesting to see.
Yeah, it really is. And yeah, I've definitely heard a lot about it in terms of using artificial intelligence like in the artistic spaces like you were mentioning, and and potential using it for various design purposes. Although I would say that for me, something I really want to see artificial intelligence see what it's capable of doing is in the health field, and seeing like what can it do to even potentially help scientists like solve cures for different diseases, or stop the progression of certain ailments. And so I'm very curious to see how it progresses over the next several years. And
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many possibilities, but yes, as you were mentioning before, it definitely does make the news a tad for for the different faults it may
Right.
have in its current iteration. But yeah, overall, I feel like there's just so much that we can go into in terms of technology itself. But going back, to your path though, so yeah, so right now, of course, having just finished this fall 2023 semester, your penultimate one before you hopefully graduate this upcoming May. So, what would you say that you have learned over your your first 3.5 years of of college?
Number one main thing that I had to get over, still trying to get over, especially with like my parents like pushing me on it, and like I'm thankful for the fact that they're supporting me and like they push me to try to do well. But like your grades and your GPA does not determine who and what you are. It really it doesn't. Like people people have their own strengths and people have their own weaknesses. Now, especially in regards to like work ethic. Now, personally, I feel like I have a really good work ethic, but when it comes to schoolwork, I immediately am just sick of it. Especially now, I'm sick of it. Like it's a struggle most of the time now to actually like be able to do work and um just getting work done, studying, things like that. Just doing it consistently for 3 months, like 3, 4 months is exhausting. Like especially exhausting. Especially when you have like a heavy workload in all those classes as well, because that's pretty much what I went through this semester. it's really exhausting. There's days where you don't even want to you don't even want to do anything. You don't want to get up. You don't want to go to class. It's exhausting. Um, but like as long as you're like making the effort and actually trying to learn and just put into work, that's what matters. Your grades don't matter. Um, like obviously they matter to a degree, but like you want to make sure you're still passing, and you don't get kicked out. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much the main thing. Um, having at least a decent sleep schedule, because I mean, me like for me, I'm not I'm not necessarily like that social. I don't necessarily go out a lot. Like I don't go to parties and or games and stuff. Now I do want to go to some games this year, but um like I don't necessarily do those things. So like for some people they might struggle like having a social life. Well, not having a social life, but like maintaining that, I guess. Like knowing when to do their schoolwork and things like that, and then like hanging out with their friends, etc. Like some people may struggle with that, and they try to balance that out. Um, I had a point with that, but I forgot. But um, pretty much being able to balance time well. That's another thing. Um, that's pretty much like the main points. That's pretty much about the main points I would say.
Well, I mean, I feel like those certainly are, really good points, and I definitely agree that grades are not everything, and don't misinterpret our, our words the wrong way in saying as in don't try, but it's like passing is still passing, and
Yep.
as long as, and it's like you can try, because I know some people like are all about the actual like the A and everything, but I feel like an A is not valuable if you haven't learned anything from it.
Yeah. Oh, also, actually, I just realized something to add on to it. Like, don't like also like adding on to that. Like, don't get discouraged from because also like the transition between high school and college is pretty extreme depending on where you come from. So, like back in high school, like pretty usually, especially with how it is now, um, pretty much as long as you go to school and actually are present in class, you're pretty much going to have a good grade regardless of what happens. Especially with how things are nowadays, where like teachers pretty much babysit you basically now. So you'll do fine literally just being in class and existing. But like in college, you have to actually put in the work. You have to put in the time and effort into doing everything for it. So it's gonna be a big eye opener once you actually go through with it. Um, and like back in high school, like for me, I had what like a 3.6. I think I had like a really high GPA. I was like 50 something in my class. Here in college, I have like what I have as of right now I have like a 2.5 or something like that, which is a drastic difference. Now, mind you, I was pretty much exhausted from high school as it is. If you feel like you can't really continue, like you want to go to college but you can't, you feel like you don't have the energy to actually commit to it, just take a year break. Take a year break. Like work at a job. You could do it like part-time or something. Try to help build your economy up and everything, and then once you feel comfortable actually going through college, do that. And then also, if you can, unless you have like scholarships or anything like that, community college is literally the best thing. That was the route that my brother took. I don't know why. Um, I decided, and also my parents decided for me to just go to the university straight up for 4 years, because that's a lot of money to go to university and not have a whole lot of scholarships to come with you. That is a lot. It is a lot. community college and then transferring over is so much cheaper. So much cheaper. Um, yeah, that's pretty much my points on it.
Yeah, but I mean, those are some really good points, though, and definitely to comment on one of them, since you mentioned the transition from high school to college, and yes, that is a lot of schooling, considering that if you started like with kindergarten going through the whole 12th grade, I mean, that's 13 years that you were in school, and then college, being potentially another four, and I mean that is like a lot to deal with. So yeah, I definitely feel like if you feel like you need a break to take that break, whether it is just a non-strenuous summer or or longer. I mean, I feel like everyone is different, and I think it's very important for us to know who we are, as individuals. It's like, are you someone that strives off of doing differential equations, then go for it. But if you feel like you need to relax, and take the time for yourself, relax, breathe a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but going back to I mean, to that transition though, I know both of us, we were in the an early college program that allowed for us to transition from our high school senior year to college. And so, reflecting back on that, how was that process for you?
Um, I would say stressful because that class was like really fast paced. In fact, it was fast paced for what it was also, but also it's extremely fast paced compared to like a regular high school class where basically you're learning stuff over the course of a year. In that class, everything was put like pretty much shoved in for like what would be a year of schooling in like high school, put into like 3 months basically. So it's very, very fast paced. We had papers like every what week, 2 weeks, pretty much, and then we had one big paper that was like 10 pages, I think it was something like that. It was about like 10. It was about like 10 pages, a research paper, and then we had to present it in the class. Um, so it's a lot. It's a lot compared to how it is in high school. And then the transition from then into um oh yeah, well, after that, the one class, the English composition class that we took, we then transferred into uh a community college for the second half of the year, and we took college level classes, and we actually took them at the university. So um taking taking those college level classes as well, um even after um taking the other college level class, like it's a lot. It's a lot. That year felt really fast paced, I would say. It felt really fast paced. um and you're kind of like always like having things to do pretty much in regards to school. I remember like trying to juggle sports along with that because I played volleyball pretty much in my senior year. I played junior baseball for my freshman and not senior, sophomore year, and then I played volleyball pretty much from freshman all the way to my senior year. And I was juggling doing volleyball with that along with going to school. And now like that was a lot um, to try to balance, and then working a job as well, trying to balance that too, all that in the same time. It's a lot. um like that's kind of like what led to me now, like I whenever I'm at school I don't work. It's too much, straight up. People that do work and still go to school and still have time to like do the things that they want to do, I don't know how they do it. They I mean they pretty much got themselves together. They're doing good. But yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I mean, to even think about that time, even for me, is I felt it was so interesting. I mean, being able to do that, and I'm very thankful, of course, for the for the transition.
Oh yeah,
At least for me, I loved the experience, and I'm so glad that we were able to get that because like I saw how much some of our peers were even struggling, like getting adjusted to college right out of high school. So I'm grateful that we had, in my opinion, I'm not sure if your thought differs, but in my mind, like a seamless transition, at least from high school level classes to college level. However, with it being within, I mean, such a tight time, definitely requires a lot of discipline that it can be a bit difficult if you're not ready for that yet.
yeah. I would say it definitely led to me being burnt out sooner too. Um, which is also why taking a gap year is important. But I do feel like it kind of led to me being burnt out a lot quicker. In my sophomore year, I really felt it in my sophomore year. I think I had to retake a class from my sophomore year because I really felt it. Like the energy that I had regularly was horrible. Eventually led to me just having a bad sleep schedule and everything. Uh, I just didn't have it in me that year. Also, there was like a decent bit of, like personal things going on in that year. Um, because the girlfriend I had at the time, we recently broke up, so dealing with that, and then class, lot of things to try to deal with. So um, definitely led to pretty much a pretty major burnout. I'm still I still feel burnt out now, but um, trying to take it a day at a time, pretty much over the course of the semester. Um, literally just the goal is just getting that degree. That's pretty much what's keeping me going at this point. It's just get that degree, so I can actually um just start doing good things for myself, pretty much.
In addition to the after effects of the COVID-19 pandemic added onto that as well.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I mean that is such a, I mean, interesting time. And yeah, and I mean I completely agree with that too. And I feel like there's so much complex thoughts that that come out from doing this. And I feel like there's no one scenario that probably would have brought like the best outcome. And so yeah, but sorry to hear that, I mean, about the burnout. And out of curiosity for you, so since you mentioned sophomore year, like, did you feel that like your burnout occurring like, progressively over the course of the year semester, or was that like all at once for you, or how did that feel for you?
it was pretty much it pretty much built up over the course of the year. Especially with this year, I felt it quite a bit. Um, but I was able to like manage myself and my classes better this time around. In sophomore, I kind of in my sophomore year, I kind of just it got really bad to the point where I skipped class for like almost like 2 weeks straight. Like I didn't have the energy. I didn't have much of anything to really go into it. Um, but pretty much like taking like I it just ended up me like this semester I pretty much ended up taking more breaks in between um doing things. Um, I still had a pretty bad sleep schedule. That didn't really change much. I still had a pretty bad sleep schedule this semester, but like I try to make the time where I should be sleeping more impactful, pretty much. So if I was able to like do my work during the day, in the night I would pretty much try to do my work. And I actually ended up being a lot more focused at night working than during the day. I pretty much ended up finding that working for me more. Um, so that's pretty much just how I went. Rest more in the day, do my work at night. Like honestly, like um, however it is that just gets you to just get stuff done. Pretty much is just the way. Um, Obviously soon I will have to like change that when it comes to actually like pursuing careers and things of that sort. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it on that.
Yeah, and I would say that even for me, and I don't know what what exactly it is for this semester, but the summer semester, I had actually like fixed my sleep schedule and had gotten everything on a track that I was comfortable with. But at some point in time, I just feel like this fall semester, has really, I don't know, shifted things in a sense that I can't really explain, but sleep schedule definitely suffered a bit in this semester, but I mean, I feel like I was able to remain productive, but I feel like similar to what you were saying that uh, the nighttime seems to be when I am now the most productive. I'm hoping to shift that forward for the spring semester prior to graduation, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of weird that I mean it's occurring like that, but attributing to like you were saying too, it's important to like take care of yourself and to hopefully actively like prevent burnout because that is what it will do to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even looking forward to the spring semester coming up. So, well, actually taking a step back from that. So, you know, right now, as of speaking, this is during winter break, heading into the spring semester, and so what are your hopes for this break? To do to sort of reset after the semester, but then also prepare for your hopefully final semester coming up.
Um. From this semester, there was one class that is necessary for me to graduate. Um, I didn't have a like sufficient enough grade that would go along with the my school, so I have to retake it in the next semester. But honestly, I'm okay with taking that next semester because I had a massive workload this semester. Um, taking the class again, I'm gonna be more familiar with the material. On top of that, I'm only taking two electives in the next semester, so that's more time for me to invest into that class. Um, and in fact, I still have access to the textbook too for like another month. I think about another month. It's either another month or like 3 weeks or something like that. So, um, I'm probably gonna take the time to like read the textbook, and maybe like look over a couple areas where I was confused in. Not necessarily gonna like study per se, but kind of just do research on some of the areas I was like weaker in. Um, Kind of like try to put that, um, try to like grow that into me mentally. So that way when it comes to the next semester, I'll be more prepared for that class. But also try to relax and rest up somewhat as much as I can. Um, I am going to be also working during the break, but also I wanted to break. Not wanted to break. I didn't want to have a break, but um, I did want to work too. Um, and like I don't know, work is oddly not comforting, but it's like kind of it's kind of like alleviating, like mentally alleviating compared to school. It's crazy to think that you would want to work than than actually being in school. But honestly, for me, it's like that. Um, so I'm kind of happy to go back to actually working again, and everything for like a few weeks, spend some time with my family, and then hopefully. next semester, knock all my classes out the park, graduate, and then on top of that, me and my family, like, we have a trip to go to New York, so that'll be fun. And then and like me graduating and everything, that'll be very great for that.
That sounds like a really good plan, and that's a really cool trip that that you all have planned. How long has that been in the works?
They started talking about it like this past summer because they themselves went. So they themselves went, and they went around like in the Manhattan area, New York City. They saw what was like I think it was the Lion King. They saw the Lion King play. And they saw some other things. They also went to the 9/11 memorial, and they were saying like how, and they were talking about how like busy the entire area is, and it's something that you kind of just have to be in. It's something you have to experience. So they were like, you know what, let's just take the whole family here um next year. So that's pretty much that as far as the trip.
Well, nevertheless, I mean, I really hope that that works out for you, and yeah, I mean, I think that would be such a well deserved trip.
Oh
After
yes.
4 years, of undergrad, and well, to include early college, 4.5 years. So I mean, yeah, very well deserved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and 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 so prior to today's conversation, I actually looked back at our previous conversations to to see some of our discussions. And back in 2021, you'd actually left goals for yourself for the next 2 years ahead, and so during that discussion then, which was in late October of 2021, you'd mentioned that you had wanted to more regularly work out, try to achieve a 3.0 GPA, as well as graduate on time, and then you had announced then that you were starting up your Twitch stream.
Yeah. Uh, as far as streaming, I haven't streamed in a few months, so that's one thing. I have actually made the attempt, and then also like with my online friends, like some of them have actually like started streaming. So that's cool. I'm happy to see them actually go into it and actually try it. Um, as far as working out, I like at the start of the year, I would say I've actually like made an effort to like actually contribute to doing that, to achieving that. I haven't really done much as of late. I've genuinely just been really busy towards the later half of the semester, so mentally doing that and then trying to find time to work out as well. That just wasn't really working much. I would work out for like a couple days, and then I would need to make like good progress on a assignment or something like that, and then I would just get myself out of that rhythm, and that kind of just happened repeatedly to the point where I would just like, okay, you know what, I need to really just focus on my work, um, and that's pretty much like what I'm gonna try to do this break. I'm gonna try and work out between working and pretty much just trying to enjoy my time back at home with my family. So I'm gonna try and work out at least a little bit, trying to get my health a little back up a little bit for the next semester. And I should be able to actually like have more time to actually be able to do to be actually be able to work out and things like that. So um and then what was the other goal that I had actually? I can't recall what I had.
Let's see, working out. Let's see, graduating on time, starting your Twitch stream, and
Yep, that
3.0
was the one.
GPA.
3.0 GPA. It's probably I could probably achieve like a 2.7. I don't think a 3.0 is actually realistic, but still, I do want to try to actually like aim for that. It's not realistic any like at this point, but I can at least try to do what I can to get close to it. But uh, yeah, I would say I've like somewhat made progress towards those.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, you still have another semester left, so
Yeah.
I definitely, know that you will, make the most of it. And I know, of course, you have, your 2 or 3 required classes. But have you figured out what you want to do for your 2 electives next semester?
I have so for an elective that I took this semester was a game class on procedural generation, which is pretty much um like data being put through like an algorithm. So like let's say in a game, um like for example like Minecraft, like they have seeds and things like that. So the game will procedurally generate seeds, and it'll give you a world, and then in those worlds, um like the biomes, like how they'll look and things of that sort, um all the different like things that will spawn in, like villages and things like that, all that stuff is procedurally generated. um a game I've actually been playing recently is Remnant. They actually came out with like what, Remnant 2, I think, earlier this year. um that game has a decent bit of procedural generation aspects to it. The layout of the map, that's different. The bosses that you encounter, enemies that you encounter, those are procedurally generated. Um, what else? I think some items are procedurally generated, but I'm not really sure on that. But that's pretty much as far as that. Um, and then next semester I'm gonna take creative writing, which I actually enjoy doing creative writing. Growing up, I loved doing creative writing. In fact, I love doing like little like short stories. SpongeBob was like my favorite show growing up. Whenever I saw SpongeBob, I would always take the time to actually watch it. So I would make like short stories of like things that like the show didn't continue doing over its time. So like I made like a Thanksgiving little like special thing. I never actually finished it, but it was like a little thing that I was writing. That was pretty nice. So creative writing, and then if that class is available, I do want to try to take yoga. Because I do want to get a little bit more flexible and have that going for me. So that's gonna what be my other elective would be. If anything, it'll be like some other form of like fitness class, or maybe if those classes aren't available, I would take like another game like class, because taking the procedural generation one was actually pretty fun. I actually like learning about that.
That sounds really cool, and I'm really glad that you're able to use your, the electives that you have remaining to, to follow your passions a little bit, and that's really cool about the creative writing. Maybe, maybe after the semester between this and pursuing your master's, that you can, I don't know, maybe like Nickelodeon can be like, hey Joshua, like you want to add to that Thanksgiving special idea that you have.
Imagine.
And the funny thing about it is, I feel like that would be really cool. And in all honesty,
It would be.
but but yeah, I mean, it's so cool though that you're able to, like I said, to go after your, your passions and use your, your final semester coming up to, I mean, to make the most of what's left of your college experience. And I know that you mentioned that. That you might actually try to hit some of the, like, the athletic games and everything that that the university has. And so, have you been able to attend any since attending the university?
Not yet. I do. I was going to attend. Um, I wanted to try to attend one of the football games that we had. But I had a assignment that was assigned like during that week, pretty much, and I pretty much was stuck doing that instead of going to actually being able to go to the game, to one of the games. Um, and then towards the later half in the year, I should have just wasn't able to go to any of them. I was just too busy with classwork. But I do want to try to go to one of the basketball games before that season is over with.
That makes perfect sense. And yeah, I haven't been to any of the universities games of any kind yet, but I don't know. I kind of want to at least attempt to go to one before I graduate. It's one of the things. It's just like I don't know. While you're a student, you might as well do it, right?
Yeah, especially since the tickets are free too for us. So that's a pretty nice thing.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair incentive right there. But yeah, I mean, this has been such a fun conversation, and I always enjoy our annual catch ups. And yeah, but before we begin closing out, I did want to ask, so as you are beginning to prep for graduation, and hopefully May of 2024, which first of all, is it just me, or does it feel like that number keeps getting closer and closer?
Yeah, this year in general went by really quickly.
Yeah, in my opinion, both very quickly, but at the same time, when you were working on something, very slow.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, like, are there any final preparations that you are doing to prepare for graduation in your life after graduation that we haven't already discussed?
Not necessarily. There is a checklist that I have to do that is required by the school. Um, that I have to go through and complete, which I'm going to take that time during this break to actually get that done out the way. I'm actually meeting with my advisor soon, to talk about um one of the classes that I'm going to be taking next year, and then also like a refresher on some of the graduation procedures and things of that sort, and then also the master's program. But other than that, that's pretty much everything.
Well, like I said, I definitely wish you all the best with that. And I know, of course, you said that whenever you do, you know, go for your master's, of course, you want to take your time with it. But would you want to go like immediately after finishing out undergrad, or would you like to, to take a gap in there, or is that still undecided as of right now?
Personally, I would like to take like a small, maybe a semester gap. I would like to take. Um, but also I'm prob if I do like I'm gonna since I'm gonna I can't even think. Um, if I me going through the master's program, I'm probably gonna be taking like two classes pretty much each semester, maybe like three or something like that, like a low number. So maybe not, but it's something that I would have to see when that time comes, though.
And I will say that for myself as a master's student, is that for the most part, free classes is considered full time for masters.
Hmm, that's a good note.
Yeah. Although, don't worry, it still has the same course load as
Yeah.
as your five classes for bachelors,
Yeah.
if not a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, but nevertheless, though, Joshua, this has been so fun being able to chat, and I definitely hope that we continue with this annual tradition where hopefully next time you can tell us how transitioning after undergrad has been for you.
And finally graduating. Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
yeah.
I'm just
I
so
hope we do
excited.
keep this going.
Yes, I'm very excited to hopefully hear how that goes for you, and just another 12 months.
Yeah.
By saying that it's 12 months instead of a year, it makes it sound like it's so much longer, but in reality, it'll be here as soon as you know it.
Yep. Especially with how time is going now.
Yeah, that is so true. And Joshua, as we're closing out, here today, if anyone wants to continue following your story online or potentially check out your Twitch streams and associated channels, where are the best places for them to find you?
uh, pretty much through the sources that I have, which I have a Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. I'm actually going to be uploading onto TikTok soon again. Um, YouTube. I'm gonna have to see. I don't really have anything to really like throw on to YouTube. Maybe maybe I could probably take the VODs that I have from Twitch and then put them on YouTube, but we'll see. And then also I'm trying to figure out new stream layouts and things of the sort. So streams might be more, might be better, might be having, like, for example, music. I do want to have music in streams, so that's gonna be something I'm gonna try to look into actually doing. But yeah, through those sources, I'm probably gonna have a Twitter at some point. I said that last time, but I'm actually gonna actually make the Twitter um sometime this break. I'm actually do that. Um, that way I can actually be more engaging. So like if people do actually do want to watch me, I actually have notifications and things like that that I can let people know whenever that would be, things that I'm planning on doing, things of that sort. Be more engaging in that regard. But yeah, through those sources, that's pretty much it. And it'll pretty much be under the same alias. It'll probably be straight up just barbecue hamster, not with the other numbers. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, that is awesome. And yeah, I definitely hope that everyone who is viewing or listening goes and checks out all of Joshua's amazing stuff under Barbecue Hamster. And last but certainly not least, I did want to allow a moment for you to go ahead and close out our discussion and thus closing out 2023, with whether it be a life lesson, inspirational thought, or whatever the case may be. The floor is all yours.
Okay. To those everyone that is taking the time to actually listen to the podcast, thank you, and also make sure to help support my friend here in regards to his stuff, and of course, if you liked what I've discussed, um, you can check me out, whatever that may be. But everyone have a Merry Christmas. Hopefully, it is a wonderful one, and as well as we wrap up this year, um, and hope for a good future.
Well, that is just such a great message to close us out with. And I am very much looking forward to continuing this conversation next year. Yeah, and for those watching and listening, thank you all, of course, for tuning in all year for the Tansson Talk Show. I always love doing this and continuing on our mission to bring people together. So be sure to continue tuning into the Tansson Talk Show every week, and I'm excited to bring you all the next few weeks episodes from this winter break. But until next time, have a wonderful day, everyone, and have a great new year. Let's finish off 2023 strong and enter into 2024 confident. You got this. Take care, everyone.